Hey, hi. So here is the second video or the second in the series of myths about emotions, gender and brains. And what is the myth? Second myth is women are emotional than men. And in fact, I thank all of those people who answered this question that I had asked in my hub. Do you think women are more emotional than men? And comments that I got actually supported this statement. They were all women. So this is in fact a myth that women are more emotional than men. And when there was a survey internationally that was done asking this particular question, women agree that women are more emotional than men. Men agree on this too. But on an average, if you look at a particular situation, and this is in fact survey done by top psychologists in the world, one of it being Felman Barett in the university. She's a university professor in Northeastern University. And what was really found out that this is actually not true. Both men and women believe that women are emotional, and actually it's not true. So there was an experiment conducted in Lisa's lab where there was this subject who was shown having a subtle kind of an expression of emotion, and in this case it was anger. And the reason of this was also given, saying the person had an argument with a co-worker, and when this particular subject was shown to people asking what do you think, it was later shown to people as in a picture all by itself, asking, what do you think? Is this lady extremely emotional or having a bad day? And most of the people replied saying this person is extremely emotional. And this was done for both male and female pictures. And what came out was that when there was a male picture shown, they said that the person is having a hard day, but when a female picture was shown with the same subtle emotion of anger, it was considered that the female was actually over emotional. But to our surprise, the picture was shown actually was the very same individual, one with a female hair and haircut, and the one with a male haircut. So obviously there are certain stereotypes around this, and there is a belief because it comes to the question as to why, where does this come from, that women are seen more emotional than men. But actually in a particular situation, it on an average, right, men and women are equally emotional, and that is true. Okay, so these stereotypes and perceptions that exist, it really impacts when a woman takes a particular role in various walks of life. One of it being law itself. Like, so for example, if a woman is has been convicted for extreme violence, and she shows expression of anger, then she's actually given a harder sentence or a tougher sentence at the end of it, as opposed to a man who's been convicted for violence and suppose expresses anger, is given a lighter sentence, because obviously the man was not in control, and therefore emotions took over. The very same thing in business situations. Women who express emotions are seen as over emotional and not really qualified to lead a company. And if the very same woman doesn't express emotion at all, then you're seen as violating the norm, and you may be as dishonest, because generally women are considered emotional. And if you have a woman who's extremely serious and seen in charge, so basically the person is often seen as aggressive. So there are these questions that we need to answer and ask ourselves as to, are we always under question? Are women always under question? Don't know. Seems like, and therefore obviously probably there is a tendency that we tend to be more careful. But what I'm trying to get to is that it is not trying to say, see, look at the way women are viewed, or look at the way men are viewed. But it is to get aware and realize that these are certain stereotypes that both women, surprisingly, and men agree that women are more emotional than men. And if this is an awareness that we can get into and realize it, that there is a strong stereotype around this, then when we are taking decisions, based on emotions or expressions, we definitely need to be really careful and not base it on gender, because definitely there are gender stereotypes which both women and men agree that women are more emotional than men, while that is not true. And on an average, both men and women are equally emotional, right? So given this, and there is also a brain science angle to this, and I'll be talking about the gray matter in the brain, as to in whose brain, whether man or woman, there is excessive gray matter, and how does that impact the emotionalities. Having said that, please do not forget to click the subscribe button and the bell button to LCSS, like, comment, share and subscribe. And the next video in the series is the third myth, which I'm going to be talking about in the entire series of myths, emotions, gender and brain. So thanks for watching. Take care, and do add your comments to make it more interactive. What do you believe? Do you think this is true? Do you think, what are your thoughts to this? Look for my next video.